Welcome to another episode of Dad's Rules with Kevin Belzer. And today I am joined in the studio with my guest, wife, ex-girlfriend, ex-fiance, Melissa Belzer. We're going to go into some prompt decks here from Best Self. Today we're going to do an icebreaker deck. But real quick, I wanted to point out, because we recorded another podcast right before this, we didn't point out the swag that we're wearing. We're wearing rule number 15, which is the 30-minute wine. So if you want to get our swag, we got plenty of it on the dadsrulesswag.com website.
Check it out.
Yep, we'll leave the link before. We'll leave the link below. I think we've recorded a few episodes today. I'm a little walky. Yeah, a little inside information on podcasts is that we record a bunch of episodes in one day, but by the later episodes, we tend to
goofy.
Yeah, just a little bit. All right, so let's do the icebreaker deck brought to you by Best Self, not a sponsor, which is fine. I still like their product.
Yes.
Yeah, it is what it is.
It's fun.
Yeah. And once we have more than 2 listeners, you and me, then we'll okay, there's a few more than that.
Okay. That's fine.
Once we have a few more people, maybe then, yeah, that's like, I'm gonna hold out hope that someday they'll love us back. But
maybe they'll come out with a new deck, and we'll be the first ones to get it. Someday.
We have so many other decks. Yep. Yeah, we've done a few of these cards. We have not done every color yet.
It'd be fun for them to send us like a new deck and go, hey, this is gonna be our brand new deck.
Let's try something we haven't done.
Okay.
So this is the icebreaker deck.
Okay.
Maybe if I can grab a card.
Can you get a card? I don't know. Can you get a card? I'll card you.
Okay.
Ooh. When you were younger, what did you want to be when you grew up?
A singer.
When
wanted
you were
to
younger.
perform on stage and sing all the songs and write music and do all the things with that. Because it seemed fun. I'm just not quite good enough at it.
So you don't sing anymore?
Well, I don't know if anybody wants to hear me sing anymore. I don't know. I sing. I just don't know if I'm good
You wanted to
enough.
be a paid performer.
Yes. I don't know if I'm good enough to be that. But I enjoy it very much. So if I was good enough to be that, I would do that. I still would, I think. Yeah.
I had 2 goals when I was growing up. The first one was I wanted to be a Olympic runner.
That's right.
Yep. So in junior high, I went to state, and it really put that fire underneath me. I'm not going back and bragging about that. That's just backstory on that because, hello, it's junior high. Come on.
Yeah.
But that got all the juices going to where I'm like, okay, well, what do I want to do when I'm in high school? And I got into a few different things. I did the 200, the 400, and I did high jumping was the other one.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, and then I did relay teams and stuff like that. I was exhausted at the end of track because I was like, I think I was in 5 different things.
Wait, which one's the high jumping? Is that the one where you jump over the bar?
Yeah, you're supposed to jump over backwards. I could Superman.
yeah,
I could
okay.
Superman 5'9".
I had pole vaulting in my head when you said that.
Yep.
Okay, so high jumping. I'm straight now. Pole
So-
vaulting.
yeah.
Scary.
Superman's illegal, but I do in practice.
Oh, okay.
You run up and you just jump and you
Jump
like.
over the back. Okay, I remember.
Well, Superman, you're going forward.
Oh.
So, but that's not legal.
Right.
It used to be legal.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, that way that they jump now, that's not how it started.
Okay.
It wasn't even close. They used to go front.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like come over and like
I would think
front.
somehow that would be easier because you would need more core strength and inertia to go. I would think. I don't actually know that.
Back, you can bend and you can snap yourself up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would think you'd be able to create more inertia.
Back, you'll get higher for sure. Because that's when the records all got set, is when they started going backwards.
Okay.
So I did those events. I wanted to go to the Olympics in the 400.
Okay.
I was pretty good at it, but then my sophomore year, I ended up popping my knee. And when I was in rehab and stuff for that, I'm trying to think, I believe I came out of rehab and ended up hurting the other knee too, and I just gave up. I quit, which I'm not telling people they should quit. I just questioned at the time that maybe it was a childhood dream and it wasn't like a real hardcore type dream.
You were at Crossroads.
Yeah, but I did have another dream at the same time, which was to be a published author. And so back then, I used to write all the time. And like my first book was so bad. My mom, being the sweetheart that she was, said it was phenomenal. And I ended up burning it. So there's not even a copy of it. Yeah, go figure. I ended up burning it. So there's no copy of the very first thing I ever wrote. It was absolute garbage, awful.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I didn't get to read it.
It was thin on plot, character development, just a lot of things. But what I learned through all the years of writing is that you can just keep honing your skill, getting better and better at weaving a story, whatever it is, whether it's poetry, writing music, writing short stories, long form stories, whatever it may be. Then, let's see, in junior year of high school, me and a friend of mine, Wheels, we wrote a story back and forth with each other where each of us did a chapter. In that one, we actually did try to get it published. And that one was, gosh, what was it called? Blue Highway. It's called The Blue Highway.
Okay.
Yep, it was named after a Billy Idol song.
Oh.
Had nothing to do with the Billy Idol song, but that's what the title was. But it's called The Blue Highway. We tried to get that published. We sent it to one publisher that did the publication for Douglas Adams, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yep, that's it. Yeah.
And that got declined. We actually got declining in the mail, and we didn't try anybody else.
Denial or
Yeah,
whatever.
denial, whatever. Rejection. That's
Rejection.
what it
I was like,
I was like, what is that word?
Yeah.
They rejected it.
There.
We didn't try with anybody else, but I didn't stop writing. I didn't know that book wasn't good enough, but we did try with one publisher, but there's obviously a lesson there to be learned. Don't quit on one. Yeah, and we didn't even bother trying to fix the story or anything up. We just let it go, and we got on with high school life. It's like not like we didn't have a million different things that we were doing.
Right.
To backtrack just a moment, because that was junior year. Okay. Sophomore year, freshman into sophomore year, one of my friends was moving away, and I was writing this post-apocalyptic book, and I had developed characters based off all the kids in school. Well, not all the kids, but a lot of the kids I knew in school, because there was 230 some people in our class. So that'd be ridiculous. Can you imagine having that many characters in a book?
No,
how could you follow that? Yeah. I'm reading one right now that has like 6, and that's hard enough to follow. Yeah, because there's 6 like main characters.
Oh, wow.
But anyway, in this one, I developed different characters based off different friends of mine. And it was all post-apocalyptic, and we had good guys and bad guys of our friends and whatnot. And it's funny because looking back, like we'd have friends that would die and get resurrected as robots and stuff like it's like all kinds of crazy stuff. But now they would probably pull me aside, have the parents come in and say, you killed somebody in writing and over analyze it. Yeah. So I did the first book, but then he was moving, our sophomore year, he was going to be moving to another school out of state. Okay. So I quickly, over a weekend, wrote the second book to it, like the whole book in one weekend. So it's like people go, how fast can you write a book? Well, apparently a weekend.
Just in a weekend.
If you have, it all gets down to what kind of motivation do you have. If you have the right motivation for anything, you can get it done very quickly.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
You can at least be going in the right direction.
Yeah. Faster,
it's like when people go, I want to do this.
Direction.
Yeah, it's like when people say, I want to lose weight, I want to write a book, I want to start a podcast, all this stuff. It's like, well, just start. Just start. Yeah. That's all you got to do. And believe me, your first podcast will suck. Your first thing you ever write will suck. Your first time working out, it'll blow and you'll hurt the next day because you probably overdid it as well. But you get through that and you grow and everything else. So I wrote the second book, then I wrote another book. I ended up writing 4.5 books in that series. I never finished the 5th book in it, but I wrote those. And then the junior year, late in junior year, I wrote a book that I ended up actually writing 2 additional books for, or actually 1 additional book for, and I have the idea for the 3rd one that would make a good trilogy if I ever decide to finish it. However, it's not where my current passion lies doing that because that's fiction. Currently what I'm doing is the Dad's Rule stuff. Okay. And I've got the real estate book that I'm working on right now too.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
I forget you're working on that.
I know. I forget a lot of days too, which is why it's not going along very fast. Yeah. It's like there's a day 2 weeks ago where I got like 3,000 words done and then the next 2 weeks, nothing. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but I'm more focused right now on getting the next Dad's Rules out, which will be out hopefully in the next couple months. Then we'll do the revised edition for the first Dad's Rules book. So first Dad's Rules book You can find it on Amazon, but I'm going to tell you right now that if you buy it, it's getting updated anyway, so there's really no point in buying it because it's going to be missing about 20 pages. Yeah. It's been cleaned up as far as how it flows. It's just going to be a better book all around.
Yeah, just wait for that copy.
Just wait for that one. It's called Dad's Rules for Being a Kick-Ass Adult. The second book is called Dad's Rules, Get Off My Lawn. That will be out here in the coming months. It's in process. It's been edited. It's been formatted by the publisher. The artwork's been all done. It's just in special effects right now. I don't know. Maybe by the time this airs, we'll have a better update, but it's kind of where it is. My whole point in this is that you can have a dream when you're younger and you can develop it over time. So I wrote 30-some books unpublishable. And then you got to Dad's Rules. So you can have all this stuff that sits in a couple bins in the garage. And that's what it does. Seriously, it's in a black and yellow bin in the garage. It used to sit in the corner of my office. I decided to move it to the back storage of the garage because I'm like, what is this doing in here? It makes no sense. But if you have a dream, something you want to do when you grow up, just start working on it and understand that you will not be perfect at it day one. We've interviewed several business people on Dad's Rules to where we talked to them, and you've heard their stories. They sucked when they started. They didn't know what they were doing when they started, or they worked for someone else when they started, and they eventually had their own company, had the volume that they were wanting to do, developed a foundation, did all this stuff, but they didn't start there. You know, they didn't start with the end. Right. They started with an idea.
And to build.
Yep, took that idea over time and then built it into something that they have now. So all those bad books, all that bad poetry, everything else, helped me develop my skills to where eventually I could come out with something like Dad's Rules and like the Splash Program book and the next Dad's Rules and whatever, hopefully, God willing, follows from there.
Which will be great.
Yeah. So that's my long-winded answer of what I wanted to be when I grew up.
There you have it.
Yep. I do have more of the story in the book. I think it's that'll be talked about in the second book. Yeah, that story's all talked about in there. Talked about in one of them. It is in one of the rules that I do go over that.
Yeah. Well, and probably the other actual goal that still is, and it's true for a lot of people, is like I always wanted to be a mom. I couldn't wait till one day I got to be a mom. So that was pretty cool.
Yep, and without moms, we have no population.
That's true. So yeah, I'm glad I got to be a mom, and sorry for the ones that are struggling with that, but that is one thing that I did want to be. So, and the ones that aren't, you're a mom to somebody, you're a mom figure to somebody. So even though it doesn't make you feel better, be a mom. It's fine.
Yeah, and so you out there that want to be a pirate astronaut, hey, be a pirate astronaut.
I don't know what that looks like, but
hey, you know, you got the goal of being a pirate astronaut, have at it. I'm not going to squash your dreams. It's not mine to do.
Nope. Pirate astronaut would be a sight to see. I'm sure what that looks like now that I'm processing that.
Well, you see the movie Ice Pirates.
Well,
that's what they were.
Yeah. Okay.
The Ice Pirates, they were pirate astronauts.
That was a ridiculous movie.
That was a great movie.
That was pretty funny.
It was absolutely ridiculously hilarious.
So Ice Pirates is space pirate astronaut. Okay.
Yep. So definitely check that movie out. They are not a sponsor anyway, because that'd be really weird because the movie came out in the 80s.
I was like, can you even find it?
Ice Pirates? Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. That's like a masterpiece.
It's like a cult classic.
It's a masterpiece. It's brilliant. It's excellent. It's all the words that I overuse.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's all those things.
All those things.
One of the greatest movies of all time. It is freaking hilarious.
Magnificent.
Yeah, one of our friends says that not everything can be brilliant.
Fantastic.
I would disagree. A lot of things can be brilliant. All right, we're going to wrap it up there. If you liked, hated, or were ambivalent about the show, well, leave feedback, comments, like the show, share, comment, email us.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. Pigeons, carrier pigeons, you can send those.
I mean,
that'd be great.
It'd be first time for everything.
I'm open to it. I'll accept the package.
How would that work? That'd be cool.
I don't know. But we need all of you to do all this stuff in order to grow the show. Also, if you want to help us out, our swag is available at dadsruleswag.com. And until next time, go out and be the kick-ass adult I know you all can be.